Smuggling is one of the top issues NOC is working on. A tool that could help put power back in the hands of the community is eminent domain. Will you use your voice as a city councilor, to fight for eminent domain? And the first candidate to answer this question will be Ian Alexander.
Well, first we have to start off with the reality that eminent domain should be used. I believe it's only allowed to be used right now for the purposes of economic development when it suits a public interest. I believe that's correct. I don't know, but the other lawyer here might be able to help with that. But I can't exactly recall the exact language, but it's not the easiest tool to use. So one, in my opinion, if you're wanting to do, there's some, okay, let's take a step back. There's some issues with certain people that own property on West Broadway and other areas that you want to use eminent domain on to basically acquire certain properties for development. However, eminent domain is so difficult to use, and because the legislature used it, changed the law, it's going to be a difficult tool to use. So I would probably lean more towards trying to use more value captured tools to fund more housing than I would to try to use eminent domain. It's a very wonky issue, sorry.
Next candidate will be Brett Buckman.
It is a tough issue, without question. But I'm going to go back to what we were talking about earlier with the stabilization of housing. Restoring our housing trust fund actually will allow us the tools to actually help individuals keep their homes. My goal over the next 4 years is to keep as many Northsiders in their homes, period. And if we have to work with our neighborhood associations and our housing funds to do that, we'll find the right mix in order to make it happen, the right funding mix. While we're doing that, it's the education that has to take place within our community, and also start to create better deals to make sure that, well, actually, we're going to hold our banks a little more accountable for what's going on. I just sat down with my friend Michael, who was over at Avenue Eatery, went through that little process with some of the members here at NOC. I was appalled. I was just absolutely appalled on what the banks are getting away with, and that the city of Minneapolis is not stepping up. Here's the fun fact that I learned from Myron Orfield. I like to tell this next time around.
Yeah, thank you. Next candidate will be Cale Severson.
This is a very interesting issue, but I hate walking the fence, but there is middle ground here. But first, let me start off by saying that I have this infatuation with old houses. It breaks my heart and soul to see these houses get knocked down, especially in our community. I often gloat. My mom lives up in the next ward over. They live in 4th Ward, and I always say our houses are bigger and better down here, and I truly feel that way. So it crushes my soul to see houses taken for eminent domain, and I definitely would support houses being taken in eminent domain for economic development. The only place I could possibly see it happening is government needing for such as schools or other areas. But the happy medium here is we have lots of vacant lots in North Minneapolis. So the happy medium is that if eminent domain has to happen on someone's house, which would be a very difficult thing, maybe we can find a lot somewhere in North Minneapolis so we can keep families here in North Minneapolis, build a new basement, and maybe everybody's happy there. So that's how I see us working with eminent domain and trying to figure out what works best for the people that live here.
Thank you. And Blonge.
So with the issue of eminent domain, it's an issue that has appeared in Richmond, California, and the city had the choice between taking property and helping homeowners out or going bankrupt. And you know what? Let me just tell you all this. This is a news flash to the banks. All options are on the table in the city of Minneapolis. They should all be on the table. We should not ever have to choose between bankruptcy or eminent domain, but if we had to, eminent domain all the way. I mean, that has to be the case. And you know, the other thing is that one of the things that I have been trying to push is you know, I think the city missed an opportunity when the houses were so cheap to actually buy a home, or buy a lot of homes here, and be a landlord. And I know it scares you all, it sounds like socialism, but it would have made a lot more sense if the city were to buy these homes and help people get into these homes at a cheaper rate than what they're paying in rent at this point. And the fact that we missed that opportunity is just not a good thing for the city.
Our next audience question is, how would you address